Hello, we should be live. I was just chatting with people before we started. That was fun. I like when I'm ready early because it gives me a chance to just kind of sit here and relax. And if I had to go grab paint water or anything like that, kind of gives my asthma time to calm down so that, I'm not coughing like crazy when we start, which is always a bonus. Today, I was trying to decide what to do. And I woke up and I think my body's going into a fibro flare up, which is, not fun, but happens with the change of the seasons. And it's definitely changing because somebody shook up my snow globe again and the snowflakes are getting bigger. They're falling outside right now. But let me see. So I was trying to decide what to do today, and I happened to grab my sketchbook because it was downstairs, and I was taking it up to the studio, and I opened it and I realized I still hadn't done the first page. And I don't know if you're like me. Sometimes I just look at that first page in a sketchbook and it's just so daunting. It's like that blank page. What are you going to do on it? Like, it has to be great, right? No, it doesn't have to be great, but you just want to start your sketchbook off on a positive note, right? Something wonderful to design. So when you first flip open that cover, you're seeing this wonderful first page or spread or however you like to do your sketchbooks. And I thought, you know what? It's time to do this page, but what am I going to do? And I sat here just thinking and thinking. I thought, that's what we're going to stream about today. We're going to stream about how to just dive into a sketchbook and start having some fun. And what can you do on that first page when you can't think of something to do on your first page? So I did have one question, though, before the stream started. Let me just see if I can find it. Python had asked, when you work on a piece, do you hate the sketching / tracing? Working on a Christmas cupcake drawing with luminance pencils and I have to transfer. Ugh, I just want to start to shade. I totally get that. Totally get that. Hello, Tara and Joseph and Python and Simone Mac. Yeah, there are times when I'm just like, I have an idea in my head and I'm like, I just want to get to the colors. I just want to get to the fun part. But I think taking that time to get your sketch right, it pays off so much in the end. Sometimes it can be frustrating to go through that beginning process of setting everything up. But I think in the end, when we take that time, it definitely makes it all worth it. And we end up with, a better piece of artwork in the end. Hi, Simone Mac. Okay, so I don't know if there are any, last time I had, if I can find it. Oop, I'll get to that in a second. I will get to that in a second. I'm like, oh, right here. Rob Younts had gifted 10 memberships, and they weren't all collected during the last stream. So I don't know if you see something that says, do you want to accept memberships or gifted memberships on this channel when you're in the chat and you say yes, if somebody gives a membership, you can get to claim that. If you don't have one yet and you visit, if you're not seeing anything in the chat, visit my page where memberships are. Maybe you can find it there. I'm not sure. This is all really new to me and I'm just trying to help everybody get what was out there, but huge thank you to Rob for that because there were still a few lingering. So yeah, if they're still out there and you can grab them, fantastic. So the other thing is we have a new banner for our Exploring Art group. If you're not a member of our art group, I definitely invite you to come along and have fun with us, exploring art together and sharing what we do. I try to update the banner as often as possible. When members of the group, it's on Facebook and on MeWe, and I think, let's see, right here, right there, you can see the art group, all of the information where you can connect with me and about memberships and Patreon and stuff like that are all right here to your right side of your screen. But this is our new banner. And thank you to everyone who has contributed artwork to that. You might recognize a couple of those. I had to fill in a few spots because I didn't have enough from members. So I encourage you, if you're in the group, all you have to do is upload a post with your art, and there is an album, and you just select the album that says artwork to be considered for the group photo, and that's how you submit. That's it. It's that easy. So excited that we have the new cover photo, and I welcome all of you to come and join us, whether on Facebook or MeWe. I cross post both, so anything that goes there, you'll see any announcements. The banner is the same on both. I take submissions from both locations to create the banner. So you don't have to be on, both of them. You can choose one or the other. But either way, we'd love to have you join us. Okay. So like Tara says, she sent me a snap, and maybe I'm looking, maybe I'm not, and I can't see what that one said. Gotcha. Okay. I was asking Tara if she could check and see. She had already been gifted one, so she couldn't see if there were more gifted memberships out there, because she was trying to help me and check that out, but it's not letting her see it. So yeah, if you haven't gotten one yet and you hop over to the membership, maybe Tara or Joseph can drop a link in the chat and just let me know, are they there? If you don't already have one, if you haven't claimed one yet, and we'll find out. I don't know. But anyhow, all right, I'm going to kind of go both. We're going to jump to the desk and put me in the corner here. So today I'm just going to share with you, first off, a couple sketchbooks. This is linked in the description below. This is what I'm working in today, only I'm working the larger 9x12. This is what I worked in for Inktober. It was fine. This is a cellulose paper, but I thought the paper was decent. And these are it's a crazy deal on Amazon right now. Now, Amazon doesn't let us share the prices with you because prices change so often. But as of the time that I checked and added the link before the stream, I can't say how much they were, but I can say that if you had $5, you'd get some change back. Just saying. As far as where I'm located for my Amazon. And I know they change like quite often. So George Pencil Art, welcome back. Hello, it's good to see you again. And no worries, you didn't fluster me. I mean, yeah, I get distracted pretty easily, but it's fine. So anyhow, I definitely recommend giving these a try. If a sketchbook, I mean, this is a 5x8 page. It's not that daunting, right? And you can there's 22 sheets, 44 pages. And I will say that when I did Inktober, I didn't have any issues with what I was using bleeding through to the next page. I did protect my pages just in case, and I'll share with you how I did that. But this here is another one. This is the Paul Rubens. Now this one is cotton. This is the other one that I really enjoy. And so this is a cotton sketchbook, and I haven't even opened mine, so I didn't take the banner off yet, but I just wanted to share with you. It's linked below as well. Very reasonably priced also. And with this one, say you had like $10, you'd be able to get some change back. Again, we can't say what the prices are. Amazon doesn't like us to do that because they fluctuate so quickly sometimes. Now, today I'm going to be using my Art Nouveau set, which is the Gansai Tambi by Kuretake. And this was sent to me. I did not buy these on my own. This was sent to me by Rob. So thanks, Rob. I think I shout out to him every time because I love these. I love these. And I also have the Calero metallic gold and silver. I definitely recommend these paints. I I forgot to activate them before we started. And of course my Nick Pro brushes. And if you want a very reasonably priced set of brushes, this is a set of 15. These are the brushes that come in that set. I love that you get an oval wash, you get some flats, you get a bunch of different sized rounds. There's also like a rigger in there. I definitely recommend these brushes. So far, between these and the Artegria, these are my favorite. Like, I much prefer these. These would be like a step below the Mimic brushes that I've shared with you. So I have like the Nick Pro, the Mimic, my Silver Black Velvet, of course. I definitely recommend those. But so far, as we continue to use these, I'm really liking them. They're holding their points well. They hold a lot of water. They have a reasonable amount of snap. So if you're a beginner, I think these are going to be a really good brush for you because they're not floppy, which can sometimes be hard when you're just starting with watercolor. So my line work today, I did with my Funosuke brush tip pens. Now these have a hard and soft tip. They're linked below. You can get a set. Looks like this. This brush is a soft tip and it's dual colored. There's black on one and gray on the other. But these are definitely one of my favorite pens for lining. The one that's, because this pen is blue. I don't know if you can see the difference, but one pen, like that one's blue barrel. And this is a black barrel. That blue barrel does not mean blue ink. No, they're both black. This is the hard tip and this is the soft tip. The soft tip is much more flexible. It's great for doing varying line weights. I used the hard tip when I did my line work for today, and you're seeing part of the spread I did for my first page. I was bored and I was like, you know what? We talk in the beginning and I want to be able to get through this page. So I went ahead and I did the line work ahead of time. I didn't think you'd mind. So I had this already taped out. I planned on doing, let me just turn this sideways for you. Boom. So I had planned on doing my first page to be a spread, and I was going to go, I really wanted to go plein air and just do like an overall image here and then like a few close-ups from that image in the other spots. So that is what excuse me. Well, we're glad that you did today, George. You're back. We've missed you. You haven't been here and I've had no snacks. I mean, come on. So the looking at that first page, I thought, okay, I'm not doing what I originally had set out to do, but I still want to do kind of a spread. What can I do? So I thought, what do I want my theme for this sketchbook to be? So you can, that's a good place for you to start. If you're just starting a sketchbook and you have that blank page, what do you want to do in that sketchbook? Do you want to, maybe it's figure drawing. Maybe you want to practice figure drawing or sketching. Maybe, you know, maybe you want to get better at drawing little gnomes. I don't know. Whatever your thoughts are, you can start off with just a little saying. See, mine, I just said an adventure in sketching. When I decided to do Inktober, and my Inktober is in here, it was going to be an adventure. I was going to complete it or I wasn't. I had no idea. And it brought me back to sketching, and I was like, you know what? I really kind of enjoyed it and I wanted to do some more. So I thought this sketchbook, this 9x12, is going to be an adventure in sketching. So that's what I started with. It doesn't have to be fancy. I just, did the words, wrote my letters a little funky and blocked them out, and I'm going to color those in. I started it October of 2023, and I will finish it. I don't know when, but when I do finish it, I'll put the month and the year. If I don't finish it before 24, then I'll just put, whenever I finish it. And that's okay. And I can paint this background, and have that all set. And then I could just come back in with gouache or something and go over it. So there we go. Oh, I love green olives. George says my snack today is tortilla chips, green olives. Did you, and AC. So, thank you, Tara. There it is. There it is as far as memberships go. So it should pop up here. I'm hoping it does. I'm hoping it does. And if it doesn't, yeah, you can go over to memberships. I think there's an S too many in memberships in that link, Tara. But yeah, you'll be able to go check that out. But I think that has one S too many. So anyhow, now Tara's going, oh, for crying out loud. Or maybe she's saying some colorful metaphors we don't need to hear. I don't know. But anyhow, so then I decided I was just going to do a little sketch. And one of the things I was thinking, like one of the things I want to get better at is little illustrations. I never really did little illustrations. Of course, I did this one last week. And I had a lot of fun with it. Like the little mushroom and the little acorn. I had so much fun with that. And I thought, you know what? And we added some shimmer to it. And that's what so I thought, you know what? This week, maybe we'll do some more and add some more shimmer in with our little, picture here. And I wanted to do some gnomes. I love gnomes. And so, yeah, see, it's, I don't know. I think it had one S too many. So we just need to retype that out. And yeah, that should be fine. So for this, I just sketched out some gnomes, and I thought, I was thinking like hobbits, right? They're living in the little hill, and just gnomes like living in different places in nature. I've done like the mushroom houses and stuff before, and I wanted to do some more stuff like that. So that's where I figured, and then she's holding a little sketchbook, and he's got a pencil and some paintbrushes. We're just going to have fun. We're just going to add some color to this. And that's going to be the first page of my sketchbook. And it can be that simple. Just start thinking of, what do I want to do in the sketchbook? And it can be a simple, now my whole first page could have just been what I wanted to do. I could have had the whole thing just say an adventure in sketching. That's it, right? No pressure. Then I can just color in the letters or the background or whatever I want to do. And that first page, the pressure of the first page is gone. And then from there, it doesn't matter if we make a mistake on page 5 or 7 or 29. Like, it doesn't matter. We can just dive in and have fun. So one of the things I do in my sketchbooks is I have these, and all this is a cutting mat. It's a cutting mat from the Dollar Tree. They come in a package of 2. I get them. I always keep some in the studio here, because if I have a sketchbook that doesn't have one yet, I'll cut it down and fit it in. That was when I was designing emotes back in, if you remember, the Halloween emotes. There's their original sketches there. Creepy Santa's still in there. We're not going to discuss that. But I think next week maybe we'll try to do another, create another emote. And speaking of emotes, because we're doing gnomes today, gnomes have invaded the superfan emotes. So if you remember here on the channel, all of you who are super fans that are in the chat, check it out. You have gnomes have invaded the emotes this week. So yeah, I thought it would be fun since we're painting emotes. The other thing I have sitting here is just a ceramic plate, also linked in the description. I get these from the Dollar Tree for $1.25. I can have a stack of them. I can mix whatever I want. I don't have to waste my paint. I can save it. Just put a piece of tape that says what the paint is, and then I can come back and grab it and use it till it's gone. So it's, not wasteful. This is actually a little spot of burnt umber that's on there, or raw umber, I believe. That's raw umber. It's from, most likely, I don't even know. I don't know, but it's there. And I just left it. But today we're using the Art Nouveau set, and I'm going to just wet these so that if or when I want to add some shimmer, these will be activated, because these do take a little bit to reactivate. but they're so worth it. So they are so worth it. Joseph. All right, I'm just going to close those up, set them aside because I won't be using them yet. And I'm just going to let those activate. Hi, Rob. Okay, so Rob is in the chat. Gnomes have invaded the emotes today, Rob. You have all new gnome emotes that you can use. And huge thank you. Rob is the one who sent me the Art Nouveau set, and that is what we are painting with today. So let's just start. Let's just start with our, you want to start with our words or start? I think I want to dive in and start with these guys, although then it'll be wet and I'll be putting my hand across. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. We're going to start right here and we're going to go full screen so you guys have a better view. There we go. So everything is linked in the description. Again, I've got my Nick Pro brushes. I've got my 10 round and my 6 round. And I'm going to start. I'm just going to wet this background. Now I do have an extra water well up here because when I use those Coliro metallics, I'm only going to rinse out in one particular well because otherwise all the glittery sparkles get in the water and the metallic shimmer, and it just kind of gets in your brush and then gets in your other paints, and I don't want that. I'm just going to wet this whole background. And I'm going to mute you guys for just a second because I forgot I dimmed my lights. Okay. There we go. I just didn't want to trigger anybody else's aid device if you have one. So this washi tape has been on here for a long time. And it might not stick so great. I may get stuff that shows up underneath it. It's fine. We're not gonna worry about that. I went ahead and I inked it ahead of time because I was like, well, if I go over this, I'm not seeing. Grabbing my glasses. Oh, there they are, the gnomes. So we have a gnome. I had to have a gnome building a snowman because it's snowing here today. So had to. There we go. Tara Giblin. Welcome to Superfans. Can you share with everybody how you got it? So if there's others out there who don't have it yet, they can claim one. Or did you just become one? Like, let's clarify that. You could have just became a superfan. Oh, Tara just became it. She says, I just became a member. So welcome, Tara. Okay. I'm trying to think what color I want my background, and I've pre-wet all of these. And I want something light. Maybe. Oh, and let me just say, when you pre-wet these, I'm going to be putting that on my palette because, yeah, like gouache. Oh, yeah. It really wet it. It was like super thick. Yeah, I stuck with the A name. And I'm not worried about painting over these little spots because I'm thinking I'm doing these little spots in like the metallics. And I know the metallics will go right over it, so I'm not worried about that. Let's like go down to some blue. And I'm just going to let those kind of mix and blend right there on the page. We're just going really wet and wet. that easy. And I think I'm going to do this one the same way. Oh, there we go. So it says you were gifted. Oh my goodness. So Rob, thank you, Rob. Let me it's happening so fast. It's happening so fast. I can't there we go. So Rob Younce gifted 5 memberships, and I'm seeing Suzanne Stack, congratulations, was gifted a membership. Dylan Creative Arts, Violet Sky, Dawn Dini, congratulations. You were all just, and Joseph Fincham, we're all just gifted a superfan membership. So there you go. It's as if you never left. That's right, Tara. So huge shout out to Rob. Thank you very much. And if you do have a superfan gifted membership and it's something that you would like to continue, you actually have to go visit the memberships page and select that. Otherwise, at the end of the gifted time period, it will just revert to being a normal subscriber or whatever you were prior to getting the gifted membership. All right, so on this on this sketchbook, which again is the Strathmore Visual Journal. I definitely like these, but it is a cellulose paper, so just knowing that that's what it is and accepting it for what it is. It does buckle a bit, which is fine. I've also noticed, though, that if I just let things dry nice and flat, or if I had it taped down, that, my page, I'll try to remember to show you guys at the end. I have some pages that are still a little buckled, but all in all, it's not bad. It's not bad. And today, I just threw a lot of water at this. And so see here, it's going to be really easy for me to go over and put the end date on that. So we just have an adventure in sketching. I'm going to let these dry, and I'll come back and I'm going to do colors on the words, and I'm going to add some metallics to our little sparkly bits. And that will be that. Ah, yes, Jamie sees you were. I see you have the little badge beside your name. So yes, you too. And that would be Rob Younce. So thank you again to Rob. Huge shout out. And if you're not seeing it on the screen, you can click right at the top where it shows Rob's bird icon there, and it shows the number 5 and the gift. And if you click on that, if there are still memberships that have been gifted available, that is how you are able to grab one. And what does that get you? As a super fan, it gets you custom emotes that I try to change each week. This week, gnomes have taken over. The gnomes have taken over, and because we were painting some gnomes in our sketchbook today. So I did a bunch of gnome emotes for you guys. I just want to darken that one up just a little. There we go. All right. While those are drying, we're going to dive into the bottom and start with that. Again, I'm going to wet this, and I'm going to paint my sky. I won't paint the tree first. I will paint the sky, and I'm going to paint part of the hill wet and wet because I don't mind if these blend a little. So I'm still using my number 10 round by Nick Pro. And again, everything I'm using today is linked in the description if there's anything that you would like to check out. I certainly recommend. I'm just going to paint around my gnomes, around my window. Yes, it absolutely was, Jamie. That Jamie said was unsure if it was the same person. Yes, Rob is who gifted them last time as well. So huge thank you to Rob for helping to grow the channel memberships here by gifting some to all of you. And I'll post things. I try to post things throughout the week. Sometimes I put things up. I just posted a couple videos this week for members on the creator membership and above. So if you're a creator member or a creator patron, you have them. What I posted are ones patrons had them, but they weren't here on YouTube. And now that we have the memberships open on YouTube, I put them over here as well. You do not have to be on both locations. The tiers correspond. So if you're a creator member here on YouTube, you get the same benefits as a creator member over on Patreon. The only difference is you have to be a super fan. I encourage patrons to become a super fan because then they get, I need to move this because you guys aren't going to be able to see all of the little, I gotta be able to slide this up. Let me just move my fishbowl of pens here without knocking stuff all over the place on my desk. We don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear a crash. There we go. Now you can see it as we get ready to put the color in. So see, this is a little warped. I just pop that down. It's fine. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to use the same blue that I used up here. So that kind of blue will gradate down and just go right into my sky. So yeah, I encourage patrons, if they want the benefits on YouTube that a Patreon membership doesn't get them, the only thing they have to do is become a super fan. And for less than a cup of coffee, you can be a super fan. It's less than $3. And it definitely supports the channel. And you get access to all the fun emotes. You get a badge. The longer you're a super fan, your badge will change colors, which is your little palette that's next to your name. That changes colors, and eventually it becomes a white palette with all the colors on it. So it goes from the palette itself being colors like you're seeing people with red or orange ones now, and then it goes from red to orange. There's a yellow. It goes through the spectrum, and then you have the palette with all the colors. There we go. There's our sky, and now I need to start painting in the hill. Taking this green number 504. I'm just gonna drop that in. And I don't mind if this blends up into my sky a little bit. It's just gonna end up looking like maybe grass growing off the top of our hill. I want to brighten that up a little bit. I'm going to take some of 501. Yeah, I'm not thrilled with that. And you guys can't really see my palette. Would you rather see here or would you like to see what I'm mixing? Drop me a comment and let me know. Just added some yellow into that mixture. I'm almost getting like some granulation out of that. It's pretty cool. I like it. I'm liking the texture there. Oh my gosh, that's why I think I'm going into a flare up. I saw George said something about cheating, and I'm like, yep, that's what I've like thrown my body into a flare up because I cheated. I did. It was Halloween, and don't think that I didn't have some of the candy because I did. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. And yeah, my body was not happy with that. Definitely not happy. So number 504 in the Kuretake set, definitely that's what I'm dropping in right now. In the wet and wet. It definitely has some granulation going on, and I really am liking that. And you see how it kind of pushed up into my sky here? Not going to worry about it. In fact, when that dries, I'll probably come back with another layer and add some like grass growing up, like add more. Python says, the more I learn about watercolor, the less I understand it. I can relate to that. I love watercolor though. I almost didn't touch it. I was encouraged by a family member to give it a try, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, that's not for me. I'll just stick with my acrylics, thanks. And boy, am I glad I didn't keep that mindset, because I love watercolor. And I have learned so much in really such a short amount of time. It has not been a couple years. I mean, I don't think that's a lot of time. And I'm not saying it takes a couple years to learn, but I've grown so much with it in the few years I've been using it. That's not to say that I don't still make mistakes. Like this paper, because it's buckling, you see I have a line here. And that is just because this wet and wet wash has kind of pushed that direction. And it's fine. I'm not going to let it get me down. Just throw some more color in here and there. Let it play. Do its thing. All right, this is like, they've got this little, their little gnome house is in a hill, which, yeah, it looks like a hobbit house, but they're not judging. Maybe they bought it from some hobbits who were off on an adventure and couldn't stay anymore. I'm still using this 10 round, which you see here, like, definitely its point. It holds a point. You can get into some small places and you'll find that the more you do watercolor, the bigger the brush you'll use and you'll kind of stick with. And it's something you don't need a lot of brushes to do. Like, there are 15 brushes in this set of Nik Pro. They should last you a long time because there are some similar sizes. And I can honestly say that, you know, if you damage a tip of one, you've got other sizes that are very similar that you could grab. Rob says, it feels like we've been on this watercolor journey together. Well, that's excellent. Well, you know, thanks for coming along. Thanks for coming along and hanging out with me. Oh, Dylan says, hello to her too. And she saw my snowy post. If you don't know, if you follow me on Instagram, I posted over there. I was like, somebody shook up. I live like real life snow globe here. And it's like somebody shook up the snow globe again. It has been snowing today. She says 70 degrees where she's at. Definitely not here. It is 30 and snowing outside right now. I'm gonna probably go over that again with like a brown because, you know, that's going into the hill. So I'm picturing, you know, it's like, it's dirt. Oh, see, that's nice. It's so true though. So also so true. Just this art journey, meeting all of you has been amazing. All right, I'm gonna work on the grass that's down here. And I did wet this area once, so shouldn't take too much to do it again. Everything dries so quickly in this studio, so quickly. I was telling Tara, I sent her a picture. I had asked a question because I know she has the Gansai Tambi paints as well. And I was like, mine are pulling away from the edge of my pans. I said, just me, or do yours do that too? And she said, hers haven't done that. And I was like, well, everything just gets so dry here that it's not surprising. When I wet them and they dry out and they're like, if you see right there, like around the edge, you see the gap, they just kind of shrink it back up and they pull right away. Doesn't affect their usability or anything like that, so that's fine. Now I just flooded this area with some water, so if you're going to see that start to push up into this drier area, because that's how it works, and that's okay. I'm not worried about that either, because that's just going to give me the area where I'll like paint some grass growing up or something. So if it pushes, I'm fine with that. Around his little pom-pom. And I was thinking, what color am I going to paint my gnome? Because, you know, you can so easily go from something that looks like a gnome to something that looks like a weird Santa. You don't paint them the right colors. So he won't be red. But I definitely wanted to get into more like some illustrations and stuff. I'm just dropping in some darker values and I'm going to let them kind of move and do their thing on their own. You're going to see them start to just blend wet and wet. There we go. All right, I'm going to let that dry. My sky's dry enough that I can paint my tree in, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to switch from this number 10 round, and the reason I'm switching is because it holds so much water that I don't want to flood this area like I flooded down in here. I just don't want to do that. You like the gnome home decor? This I picture is like a tree, and then this we're going to paint like it's stained glass. All right, let's see what we've got for browns here. You see when you wet these, they definitely, you can use these like gouache You can use them like watercolor. And I asked the question, but then I didn't look up to see if you guys answered me about if you'd rather see the palette I'm mixing on or the colors. Okay. I'm just grabbing my bridge real quick. I haven't used this yet. I got a big one and kind of wishing I had got one that was a little smaller, but it's just going to let me set my hand up on top of this bridge. It's acrylic, not linked below, but if you guys are interested, let me know. I can always link it. And now I can sit without touching my painting and paint in my tree. So this is getting painted wet on dry. I did not pre-wet my paper, so my paint is only going to go where I put it. It shouldn't push and spread. This was actually a gift last year for Christmas that Lou got me. I was like, I need a bridge, and then you guys have not seen me use it because I keep forgetting, and I'm like, I have shorter pieces so I can make it closer to my artwork, but working in a sketchbook, I left it on the high part. But yeah, I think I would like a smaller one too so that it can fit on my desk. I'd probably use it more if I had a smaller one that could fit over my art. But I thought, just get one bigger one. You can use it for anything. There we go. There's my tree in the background. And that's that. See how it bled up into that area? Oh, thanks for coming by and gifting memberships, Rob. And we will see you. Oh, and thanks for the colors. We will see you next time. In fact, next Friday, we'll all be hanging out. It's November, so if you're a studio member or a studio patron, we will be hanging out live on Zoom. I'm going to be doing some Christmas card designs. I was working on some today. I got like 2 or 3 designs ready today. And I'm going to be doing that. And that is a week from tomorrow. So not too late to get in on that if you would like to join us. Let me just grab some of that. The only thing about this set is it doesn't have a neutral tint or a black, which I think I'd probably prefer in this space, but it does have complementary colors that you can mix to get some darker browns or possibly even the gray. I did that in my video I shared with you guys the other day. Oh, hi Cats Art Picks, and hello Starving Artist Collective. I'll catch up with the chat here in just a moment or two while I let some things dry. Sorry, I'm like shaking the table. All right, I'm going to let that dry for a moment. I'm going to check in on the chat. also hello to D. Lynn. I'm like trying to see if I missed anybody. That I tried to say hi when everybody popped in. Okay. I'm going to mix up. I'm just going to slide that up a little bit. So I'm going to take this, which is like a red orange type color. And to me, it looks more orange than red. And I'm going to mix it with this 506, which is a kind of a blue-green. And that is going to give us, right now that looks more brown than gray. And that cools it down. And that's what I'm going to use. Because I don't have neutral tint, I don't have a black, so that's just what we're mixing up. There we go. Oh my gosh, Cat's Arpix says, I just pulled fresh baked bread out of the oven. Ugh, that's one of my weaknesses. I love fresh bread. It's a big no. Big no. I'm just setting my hand down, so basically to work like my bridge, you'll see I have my fingers on my book here, and I'm just going to hold up my wrist with my other fingers so that I can come in and paint this little area. Just like the little cut into the hill where our window is recessed. There we go. And I want to darken up some of this. I'll have to update the thumbnail once this is done for people watching on the replay, so they can see what it looks like. I was like, oh, I tried to post it with the drawing. So I guess I have this line art. I wonder if anybody is interested in the line art for the hill and the little gnomes. Let me know, because I don't mind sharing it. You can use it like a coloring page if you want. And I don't mind sharing that at all. I'll pop it up on over on Patreon. And if you don't follow me on Patreon, I encourage you. You don't have to be a paid patron to follow your favorite artist over there. So some people don't know that. And I definitely encourage you to follow some of your favorite artists, because like myself, I put things out like line art or stuff like that go along with videos that are free, and that's where I post them. That's where you can find them. Just picturing these are like some stepping stones. And I probably could scrape these like I do rocks, but I don't want them to look like they're like big rocks you would step over. I want them to look like flat stones that you would step on. Coming up to the door. There we go, just kind of dry brushing like a little pathway. I'm going to paint I think I'm going to paint the terracotta pot. That's what I picture it being. And I'm not worried about staying perfectly in the lines. You don't have to. Don't because it's line and wash be like, I'm constrained to these lines. You're absolutely not. And maybe our welcome mat. Use this color as well. There we go. And I'm going to paint in her braids. So you're going to see me start to skip around now because some parts will be, that's not exactly what I want. That's better. I'm going to need some parts to dry while I do other things, so I'm going to kind of start skipping around. I could have given her red hair like me. Actually, she's like me. She'd have to have almost all the colors in her hair except black. I don't have black. But I do have blonde, brown, red. There we go. Now I don't have a nice light gray for his, but maybe. Yeah, we'll go with that. Kind of a, not really gray, but not really brown either. There's a lot of water on my brush. Just gonna pull some of that up. And you see when this goes over that line, it definitely dulls my lines. But anything I want to bring back as far as the line work goes, I can just come back over at the end. And it's probably just as well that he's not like white gray. We don't want him to be mistaken for Santa. He's not Santa. There we go. There's our little again. Too much going in there. I'm taking a little bit of this darker, just adding some shadow like under his nose, under his mustache. There. Laura Gonzalez says, I love gnomes. And then the art, it jumped. Oh, and she said, I love to draw them. Yeah, I want to be drawing some more. I definitely want to. These aren't exactly like the way that I want my gnomes to look yet, but they're getting there. They're getting there. Gnomes have taken over superfan emotes this week. I will have new emotes for you next week. I try to update them every week because I think it's fun. I hope that you guys agree. I hope that you're enjoying them. Like, I don't think it's a waste of my time. All right, I'm going to paint the tree on my door because I'm going to need this to be dry so that I can put in the stained glass. This door is some fine gnome craftsmanship, let me tell you what. And I find that a sketchbook, painting in the sketchbook, I have no pressure, right? If it doesn't come out, I don't have to share it with anybody. I can just turn the page, right? I don't have to look at it. I can skip over that. What do you guys think? Do you find that working in a sketchbook is less pressure than, say, working on a piece of watercolor paper or on a canvas or whatever your chosen surface is to go with your medium? I guess better question, do you use sketchbooks? Up until recently, I mean, I've had sketchbooks, but I have a ton of sketchbooks. I used to use them when I was younger a lot. And I kind of got away from it. And just recently, I'm like, I've got all these sketchbooks. I need to start doing stuff with them. And then, of course, came Inktober, and Lindsay encouraged me to keep at it, give it a real go. And I'm so glad that I did. I mean, I shared all, even if they were ones that I was like, oh, this is terrible, I still shared it on Instagram and Facebook. Oh, look at that. There's our tree. Wow. So Starving Artist Collective says gnomes aren't really a thing there. And by there, we're talking about Australia. So now I've added a little bit more water. You guys can't see because I moved the plate out of the way. I'm going to move the palette because I'm doing a lot less grabbing of color here and a lot more playing with the color here. So I just added some more water so that I'd have a lighter version to do the wood that is the door. So I want that to be a little bit lighter. But I absolutely find that working in the sketchbook, there's so much less pressure. But that's not to say that that first page, and like, it sets the tone for, that's how it feels to me. It's like it sets the tone for the sketchbook. And I've seen some, artists here on YouTube that all they do is sketchbook stuff. And they've got some amazing, Just Carp. She has some amazing spreads in her sketchbook. And I was like, I want to have some more like that. I think they're fun. And I like the whimsical feel of this one. Yeah, I just wanted some more of I want to do some more of that. So that was what when I sat down and thought about what was my book going to be about. It was definitely going to be an adventure in sketching because I haven't done it in so long. And this particular sketchbook was about getting back to it. So that was kind of my theme for this sketchbook. And again, you don't have to do a spread like this. You could just have your first page be your thought of what you want from that sketchbook. I think UPS just delivered. I must have ordered something from Amazon. I think I'm expecting a few things for the studio that you're going to see here coming. Oh, there we go. I'm really liking the door. I'm going to make the sides here be a little bit darker. Just lend a little bit of shadow on that. There we go. There. Starving. Oh. I guess that depends on who's doing the cooking. Okay, let's do our window. I'm just going to go with this really, really, really light blue here. That's a really good point, Laura. Thanks for sharing. So she says to me it's more pressure, and that's because I've seen so many perfect looking sketchbook videos. Yeah, I think that we really need to it's not, I think if it's giving a feeling like that, then it's definitely not necessarily worth the look. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to keep a sketchbook if you feel the pressure to create something like other artists you've seen. For me, a sketchbook is permission to explore and play and have fun. And if it doesn't come out perfect, that's okay. If I don't like it, guess what? It was one page in a sketchbook. If I really don't like it, I can remove the page and just throw it away. Like, I don't even have to keep it. And I'm not going to feel precious because it didn't cost what some of my other watercolor paper cost me. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some sketchbooks out there that'll cost you a pretty penny. But this one sure didn't. And if this is one that you are interested in, I definitely recommend checking out the link in the description, because this size here, the 5x8, these are a great deal right now. And I'm only speaking for what I can see for Amazon US. in my area. But those are an amazing deal right now. They were less than $5 right now. Now that amount keeps jumping, it keeps changing, and I'm sure that's with people buying them and they sell out or what have you. And all right, so I'm gonna work on. No, I think I'm gonna throw some flowers. Let's give them some flowers. Maybe these are some fall flowers. I think asters are purple. They bloom in the fall. Of course, they wouldn't still be alive after today with all the snow sitting on them, I'm sure. Not up here anyway. So I'm going to let that kind of dry. I'm going to throw some more green in there. I see it's not being precious, just a little bit of dab. So yeah, the Strathmore, again, it's cellulose paper. You can see this is a little warped, my emote designs, but it is a little warp, and it's okay that it's gotten warped by that. It'll dry and it'll flatten back out. Sometimes I'll take my heat tool and I'll dry the backside, and when I'm drying it, and that helps it kind of flatten itself back out. Okay. I'm going to do some of the colors. I want this to feel like a stained glass window. So I'm going to do orange, and I've added water because I definitely want it to be more transparent. And I'm just going to put in a few of these in this color. I was like, should I do it like of course I've already put that in there. I don't think they have a rainbow door, but I'm thinking, just changed my mind with how I want the stained glass to go. I want this down here. We'll add a few variations to this color. The point on this number 6 is wonderful. There we go. And then I'm going to go more yellow. And I'm not going to worry about if these touch and blend. It's fine. Like, I know that one's going to. So we gotta have colors. These are artistic gnomes. I said artistic. I find that my sketchbooks are where I will experiment more. I will definitely experiment with a sketchbook. Something that I want to draw. I want a blue, and that's just not a purple, and it's just not going to give me quite what I want. That's right. We'll just go with this. And that's a little opaque. I'm going to dab it. And now it's more transparent. Same thing here. If I paint over any of my line work and I want to bring that back in afterwards, I can just go right back over them. The price to try out one of these, if you're talking about one of these visual journals by Strathmore, I just ordered the Bristol Vellum so I could try it with some markers, because I have some markers I want to try. And of course, you know, like alcohol markers, things like that, they're not going to be light fast, so perfect place to use them in a sketchbook. So I ordered a couple of those. I've ordered a bunch of the visual journal for gifts for Christmas. Because at the price that they are right now, I mean, you just watch, because it was less than $5 at the time I grabbed the link before, when I was setting up the stream. If they're not still that price when you look, they keep coming back to that. So I would watch them, because they have come and gone from that a few times. I've seen them jump back over $10 for the 8. I'm talking about for the 8x5. And then I see them come back down again. It is definitely worth watching to get that price. They're certainly worth a try if, doing some work in a sketchbook is something that interests you. So where some of this has been a little more opaque than I wanted, I'm just dabbing it back out. And that's kind of giving me that look of like the transparent glass that I want to see. And this is blue, and that was a little red underneath. So I don't know how that's going to end up looking. It may be a little purplish, but that's fine. Yeah, I think I want that purple. I didn't do any green in the door. That's all right. Thank you. See, okay, so D-Lynn just put it there in the chat. See, she can put it in the chat. I can't put it in the chat. Or I can't say how much they are because of my agreement with Amazon. But yes, that is, if you're in the live chat right now, that is how much they are. It is a deal. At that price, why not give one a try? But when you get it and you're looking at that first page, I decided I wanted green. Right? And you're looking at that first page. Don't let it be daunting. Just think of what you want to use that book for. And your first page could be as simple as this. That is about the size. If you see my, right? That's about that size. And your first page could be something as simple as something like that. Your intent for your book. All right. We need to start putting in some color with these guys. We're going to add some little extra details on our hill that our house is into. We need to add some greenery here. And then, of course, we're going to put our letters in and do some sparkly shimmers to it. So, oh, I agree. Laura says bookbinding is an art all on its own. Absolutely. So a lot of people, I did the poll, and we've got 82% say that that first page seems daunting. So I'm hoping that that this helps. Oh, absolutely. And that's a great idea. Absolutely. Also create your own, right? You can create your own in any paper you want. And if it's not super expensive paper, you're definitely not going to feel like, oh, I should, that it's precious or that you don't want to make a mistake. You just go for it. I'm going to paint her in, and I think I'm going to let her wear. I'm going to give her a purple. I'm going to make her hat be this kind of lilac. I'm not sure what the color is, but number 303 in this set. Again, this is the Art Nouveau set by Genzai Tambi. And I am liking these watercolors. You can thin them down and use them really transparent like traditional watercolor, or you can leave them thicker and use them more like a gouache. As you see, like when I went over some of my lines, they start to disappear. So they're definitely more opaque. But you can, like I said, you can thin them down and you can get them pretty transparent. There we go. And you see I kind of have a little bit of a halo going on here. As I add touches to my hill, I'll just try to make that go away. And I think her hat is a different color than her dress. I'm going to wait to paint the dress though, because I will mess it up right now if I go right in together. But I think her mittens match her hat. She's a very coordinated gnome. There we go. I also think I'm just going to take while I have this color on here, because I know I'm going to go back over. Just giving her a little pink in her cheeks. And perhaps on the tip of her nose. Maybe it's starting to get cold there too. Okay, let me decide what color he's going to be. I think I want them to kind of stand out. I don't want to make them blend in. Perhaps I'll give him an orange. Although it's kind of red, I said I don't want him to look like Santa. We're going to make the band be the same color. There we go. Just dropping in some extra color here where perhaps there'd be some shadowing going on. Okay, teal or blue, Tara says. Teal or blue. I think that's what we're going to do with his outfit. There we go. His little shoes will be different color. I'm going to make his mittens match his hat, but now I have to wait because I painted the sleeves. Cat's Art Picks asked, how's the weather been there? And it has been snowing here most of today. I posted on Instagram. I shared that living in a real life snow globe right now. The snow has been coming down all day, off and on. I'm going to put a little bit of this yellow, warm that up. And now I'm just going to drop in some of this green in and amongst my purple. For part of my plant. There we go. Let that set. I can take this same green. I can actually just come in here. Dab it right along. This is where I need to grab my big brush again, right? Because I want to work this whole area. You see, I'm just kind of just dabbing it in, letting the point of that brush break the line. And then I'm going to take my big size 10 round, just grabbing up that color that I mixed. And I didn't grab any water, just whatever was still in the brush from when I used it earlier. I just grabbed the color and then see, I can blend that down. I'm going to let those colors blend into my hill. And I'm reactivating what's underneath, so I don't want too many brush strokes. I'm going to pull that color that's on the paper back up, because that is one thing I can say about this this watercolor paper. It definitely lifts fairly easily, which is nice, you know, if you feel like you've made a mistake somewhere. So remember I said I would just come back around. Doing some dry brush. And mix up a little bit more. Perhaps a little bit more on this side. As my brush gets dry, I just start pulling it, dry brushing all the way up and just kind of blend it in. Perhaps a little bit more in the grass behind them. And I'm making a mess of my yellow color here. Just gonna clean my brush so I can grab that and get that out of there. Try to keep my colors clean. Doesn't always work. That's okay. I have a few big old drops. Get those off my ferrule before I drop them in and mess up my painting. Got a little bit on my hat. Not what I wanted to do. I was moving a little too quick for myself. That's okay. I have to use that color again to do his mittens, so I can touch it up. Laughing Cat's Art Pick said, gotta close up the windows. I'm thinking, brr, I wouldn't have my windows open today. It's 29 degrees right now. So the temperature has dropped since we've started streaming. Oh my gosh. And I see you guys have been talking about food and such in the chat. I made some keto friendly noodles the other day and cut them like squares or rectangles. And then I made like a stuffed shell filling or like a manicotti filling. Oh my gosh, I have not had some Italian food in so long. It was so good. Oh my gosh, it was so good. I was like, it has been ages. We thoroughly enjoyed it. All right. I'm going to paint his little shoes here. Brown. I wanted this darker than that. That was just a lot of water in my brush. Let's see if I can't come back in. There we go. More pigment, less water. His little gnome shoes. Now we'll get the other side. Whoa. A little too much on my brush. See, and that one is coming out a lot darker than the other because my paint was a lot thicker. Just took that off my brush. And come back in and work this one around. Here we go. I'm going to come over here. I didn't do his little pom-pom. Just going to wet that. Take a little bit of that darker and just kind of drop it in. Dab it off. That's it. Just going to leave it. It's a little white pom-pom. Okay. Now his mittens. Doing them again, the same color as his hat. On this brush, I have a couple hairs that are really long at the tip. And I'm not taking them off yet because they've been really helping me get into some tiny, delicate areas. I'm just kind of embracing it for what it is. I don't know if it's like the brush is going to shed them or what, but right now I'm enjoying them. So not getting that too wet. So come back in and where I made a little bloom there, I'm going to come back over that. And so that it doesn't happen again, I'll work right to the edge of that area where that color is. That's funny. Maybe. And I'm just going to go back over his hat one more time. A little too much water on my brush. Pull that out. There we go. And I'm going to give him some red on his nose, and I'm going to lift that off. There we go. And I'm going to leave it like that. I need to paint her face. And for that, I think I'm going to try this number 19. Yeah. It's really light pink. And again, I'm going to put it in. Dab the color up. We will try a little bit of that mixed together. 16 and 19. Yep. I'm just going to leave it. So while that dries, I can do her book. Almost done painting our nose. We're going to have to add some sparkle, and I think we're going to use some sparkle for the door knocker there. I'm going to do the handle. I think I'm going to come back with some shimmer, some sort of shimmer on it so that it looks like it's metal. And I'm going to do her sketchbook cover the same. Trying to decide what color her dress is going to be. While I have very little left on my brush, I'll make go down the pages. Perfect. I'm really enjoying this one. I hope you guys are too. Just putting a little shadow under his mustache, a little separation from his beard. Put a little shadow a few other places. There we go. All right. Oh, thanks, Tara. Thanks, George. Hi, Elaine. Thanks for joining us. Tara says it's relaxing watching me paint it all in. All right. She needs a dress. She needs a color for her dress. And I'm thinking I have no idea. Let's see. Oops, that was definitely not what I wanted to touch. I looked at one color and put my brush right into a different color. It's kind of similar to his, but this is 502. We used 506 on his outfit. Maybe. Yeah, Starving has summer for it's becoming beach weather now for her. Here we go. See how much these brushes hold? It is still going, still giving up the color. And again, these are the Nick Pro brushes. Definitely recommend these if you were looking for a set of brushes that won't set you back a ton to use just for watercolor. I would say these would work okay with gouache as well. They are a synthetic squirrel. They hold their points well. Her dress looks kind of, were you saying yellow for her dress? And I just now saw it. They are synthetic, so no natural hair, if that's important to you. And I know that I'm making this go all the way up, but that's okay. Maybe like me, I'm wearing a turtleneck today. Maybe this is a turtleneck. I don't know. I mean, they do have mittens on, so maybe it's chilly. Do you guys make stories up for your art? I like to think about the little world they live in. All right, there we go. And I need, speaking of yellow, I'm thinking like number 2 pencil here. He's holding a pencil. Let's put our yellow in there. And he's holding some paintbrushes. I'm going to give them dark handles, just like mine. Are they Nick Pros? Are they silver black velvets? I don't know. But I think they're going to have paint on them. He hasn't cleaned his brushes. There we go. Just darkening his outfit up a little bit. Definitely lightened as it dried. Okay. I'm going to move that. No, I might still need some of the colors. So I think up here, I'll bring some of their colors into the words and just kind of where it had curved. See, that easy. Just a little bend, little bounce. And none of this, if I show you, nothing has come through. That's just graphite from my little emojis that I was sketching out. Okay. Now these have probably activated and started drying. But I'm going to take the Tibet. No, they're still good. So the Tibet gold. I'll just put a little on our handle. Add some shimmer to it there. I'm going to take some of the sterling silver. And you guys can't see because I have it turned the wrong way. And again, this is where I'll use, I have a separate rinsing well that I haven't, you see it's got some in there. I didn't really scrub this out. I just grabbed clean water, and there's metallics from the last time I used it. So I tend to use the same one for rinsing brushes that have metallics in them. And I'm just going to put a little bit of silver. I said a little bit and that dabbed a lot. That's okay. Just going to give a little bit of shimmer to my window. Now, one thing that I could do for this, if I want the window to kind of sparkle, and these aren't linked in the description below, but I am going to grab, this is my Wink of Stella brush 2. I used this a lot during Inktober, and this is the one that just puts down the shimmer, but lets all of the color come through. I love this one. I get the 3-pack that has the gold, the silver, and just the little clear iridescent. So it just adds a little bit of sparkle to it. And definitely want to rinse that off because I just put yellow on my blue because it picked up some of the color. There we go. And that kind of took care of that. All right, so if I want my glass just to have a little sparkle, maybe some light is reflecting off of it. And I can touch up the dark part. There we go. Oh, great question. So, Starving Artist Collective just asked, why I'm preferring the Nik Pro brushes to the Artegria brushes. I'm loving the way that they're holding their points. And even if I've been scrubbing with them, I've not been being nice to these brushes, but they've been being nice to me. Also, on the brushes, if you look around the brush, like where the brush meets the ferrule, where the belly of the brush meets the ferrule, on the Nik Pro brushes, it's closer to the bristles, just like on most of my other brushes. Now on the Artegria brushes, and I don't know if I still have them within, I already put them back up on my shelf. Let me grab them for you because you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. If I grab the same And we're talking about these, the Intuition, the Artegra Intuition. Not linked below. I have linked them before, but so these brushes, you're going to pay a little bit more. You get 10 in this set. Now you can buy the quills separately, and I do recommend the quills. The quills, if you like painting with a quill, they come a set of 2 like this. And these I definitely recommend. They hold a ton of water. And the quality seems very, very good. Now, I'm not saying the quality isn't good in these, but for the price, that's the first reason why I'm saying the Nick Pro over the Artegra, because you get 10 here, you get 15 there, and the Nick Pro brushes, you get 15, you get 5 more brushes, and the cost is less. At least it is here. In addition, when you look at these brushes, if I can get that to focus, where the brush meets the ferrule, there is a big gap around a few of them. Like this one, there's like just this large, when I get my brush wet, it gets even worse. So I'm just wondering how long is it going to be before the water just is all down in there and messing with my brushes. You see how much of a gap there is between the ferrule and the bristles? It's just weird to me. I haven't had any issues with them. Performance for these is very similar to the Nick Pro. You do still get now with the Artegra, you get a dagger, which you don't get in the Nick Pro brushes. So it's fewer brushes. You get a dagger here where you don't there. And you both of them have the 3/4 oval wash. So really, it's just a matter of preference. The biggest reason I was recommending this set versus this set is price. But if like the dagger brush is important to you, you want a set that comes with a dagger brush and an oval wash and a flat and some rounds, then I would say the Artegra might be the better set for you. So yeah, it's just going to come down to your personal preference. You're going to pay a little bit more. You're going to get a few brushes less. But it's going to come down to what is more important to you. Having that dagger brush and fewer overall brushes. The quality as far as the brush itself goes, very, very similar. Very similar. I hope that helped. Okay, I'm going to jump up here and can you see the sparkles? I don't know if there's, oh, there we go. Those, now they're starting to show up there. So see, our windows just kind of give some reflection. And I'm going to put some in up here. I'm not worried if I go over any of the I see your question. Give me just a moment. I want to say they both have the same size larger brushes. Whoa, wrong rinsing bucket. I love these metallics. Love these metallic paints. If you're looking for a set of metallic paints that are like your silvers and gold, and I certainly do recommend these. Okay. So the only thing I really have left to do is fill in my letters. I think I can heat this up and pull the tape, which of course is like one of the best parts. And what I might do is I might just grab some of my watercolor brush pen like markers to put my lettering in. Let me just heat this up. Okay. My favorite part. Is it your favorite part? I love peeling the tape. And this washi tape, like I said, had been on this first page forever. So I definitely wanted to heat it up before I pulled it off. And I knew, look at that, that I might risk some of the paint like seeping underneath. Ah, so wonderful. I love it. Looky there. That is like my favorite part. So yeah, if this is something that you would like me to throw the line art up for to use as like a coloring page or something, let me know and I can absolutely share it over on Patreon. It will be free to download. And I got a few like little like back runs here, but I like it. I think it's neat. Look at see the shimmer? See the metallic? That is why I love those metallics. They shine so well. So yeah, my lettering, I'm just going to do with some brush pens. So what I'm going to do is I will finish these with my brush pens. I'm not going to subject you to that. And then I will get the picture and I'm going to update this thumbnail for those who are watching on replay. It'll actually have the pictures all colored in. And, but I will take a picture of this spread and I will share it over on my Clark Fine Art page on Instagram and Facebook and MeWe. So if you follow me there, definitely recommend. Oh, wait a minute. I don't want this one. I want this one. So I definitely recommend follow me and you can see the links if you're not in the art group already. The links are at the bottom center of the page to join our art group. We have a brand new brand new cover photo with art from the group. So Starving Artist Collective, before we go, you asked me about the sizes. So for the Nick Pro brushes, my biggest round was the one that I was using. It's the number 10. Yes, it's the number 10 round. So you have a 10, a 9, an 8, which is why I say with these, like I've got these three here that are pretty decent size, 10, 9, 8. I've got the 3/4 inch oval wash and I have a 1 inch flat. Those are my biggest brushes. Now I also have, you know, a rigger. I have another, there's another flat. So you have a 1 inch and a 1/2 inch. You get, there's a size 7 round, 6 round, 5 round. So you see they go, I mean, they go right down. Yeah, 4, 3, 2, 1, and a number 3/0 liner right there. So those are the brushes that come in that set. The largest brushes in the Artegria set, you're going to get a 3/4 inch wash. Again, you're going to get the 3/4 inch oval wash. Your largest brush is a 12 in this set. And then of course you have the dagger, which is a 3/8 inch. And as for rounds, we have a number 10 is our largest, an 8, a 6, there's a 3, a 0, and a number 6 flat here. So they're your sizes for that. And then if you want the quills, those you purchase separately. So I've shared the links to these before, and you can always just click any one of the links and just type in Artegria Intuition. It's the Intuition series. These are also synthetic squirrel. As far as the brush itself is concerned, the two brushes feel almost identical when you're using them. So it really comes down to price, how many brushes, and the sizes and styles that you want. So I hope that helps. Both are very decent brushes for an inexpensive type of brush to use for watercolor or gouache. So yeah, I hope that that helps. Okay. Wow. So hope you guys enjoyed today, and that this helped with ways to get over that daunting first page in a sketchbook. Some great deals in the description below on the Strathmore visual journals, which is what I was using, the larger one, which these here, this is the 5x8. So that's that right there. I'm just using the 9x12 here. The 5x8s, if you want to try one, you can't beat the price right now. Of course, prices can change quickly, but yeah. Oh, you're very welcome. Starving Artist Collector said, thanks for showing the brush sizes, and you are very welcome. So I hope that you will like and subscribe to the channel. Join us. We are live here every Thursday at 3 p.m., except for in a couple weeks, Thanksgiving. We will not be live then. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much to patrons and members. If you got one of the gifted memberships today, welcome to the group. So happy that you are here. And next week I'll have all new emotes for you. Maybe we'll design one. I'm not sure what we're doing next week yet, so we'll figure that out. Moderators Tara and Joseph, their channels are in the description. Joseph live streams every Monday at 3 p.m. Same time I do, but on Mondays. So I hope to see you there one Monday, and we'll chat it up in the comments. And yeah, that little hand is showing you where I'm going to pop another video up if you're watching this on the replay. But thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to go see if it's snowing again and enjoy the winter weather. But I hope you're enjoying the weather wherever you are. Thanks again, and I'll see you in a video real soon. Bye, guys. Keep creating.